I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
I'm Elle Nicole France.
And I'm Ginger Conlon.
And this is 60 Minutes. Oh, wait a minute. The wrong show. This is, we're the CRM Players. We are back. It is Thursday or Blur's Day. At least it's a nice sunny day outside here in Atlanta. So I'm actually kind of feeling good about today. I think there's something to today that's going to be good for this show. What do you think?
How do I know? I have no idea. I don't know what's up. I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, you know how organic we are completely. So it's all ad hoc. Whoever shows up, shows up.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's better than organic compost, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And the worst part about organic compost is it actually takes time to become that.
I know.
So this could be a very torturous show.
I'm already starting to feel like it's going the wrong way here, folks. But no, I'll tell you one reason why I think it's a good show. I busted out a brand new. I mean, I've never worn this. I just took all the stuff off. Brand new Rams hat. Whenever I put on a brand new Rams hat for a show, it's going to be good.
Yeah, Brent, I need to know the size of the Ram hat collection.
Well, I don't even know the size of it at this point because there's additions to the collection constantly going on every week, it seems like. Whenever there's a good 65% sale at the Fanatics, it's going to grow. I just put it like that. I got at least 30 of them. At least 30. Probably.
So do you cycle through like one day at a time and then start over again? Or do you like feel the love for one like for a while before you switch to another?
Sometimes I get into a groove with just one. And I just, it feels so good that I just let it roll for a while. And then, something may happen. Maybe my, something changes. Maybe I wake up on the different side of the bed or something. And then that's when I say, you know what? Let me see. What should I go for now? So I'm going with a brand new Rams logo with the fatigue look. That's a new one for me. So, and as Dan would say, yes, I'm in camo today, Dan. There it is. Okay. So anyway, besides that, we are going to have a different show for sure because it's a homecoming of sorts, right? It's a homecoming. We're going to welcome back the very first two Playaz-in-Residence. First one being Brian Solis, who was really only a player in residence for like a hot minute because he just took a job with the Salesforce guys.
Does that mean he's not a real player? Is that where we're really going with this, Brent? Is that what we're trying to say about Brian?
I can't say that because once you're a player for life, basically.
All right.
Yeah, so we can't do that.
You're branded. Just don't show anyone your forearm, whatever you do.
And then coming on the heels of Brian, once Brian left us, and we were a little blue for like, half day or so. And then Jamie Anderson, the man of 1,000 voices, joined us as our Play-in-Residence.
He played his way into our heart.
He definitely did. He sang and impersonated his way. That doesn't sound too good into our.
Yeah, that's right. We're not really sure he's Jamie Anderson now that you say that.
That's right. Well, you know what? Something has happened since the last time we talked to Jamie with the passing of the late great Sean Connery. So.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get a little Sean from this.
Well, I do know this. Jamie's going to be in a slightly unusual situation when he checks in with us. He's literally in a car in Glasgow, and keeping in mind it's at night with a car light. And so he thinks he can handle it about 20 minutes before either the internet connectivity goes, the light goes, or he veers the wrong way in the direction.
Wow. You put a lot of thought into that one. Jeez.
I was going to say, this is like a do not try this at home kind of.
Let's just say I embellished a lot of that, but
yeah, that was some good embellishing.
Spirit was there, and actually the circumstance was real too. But
by the way, Jamie is in the green room. He can hear all of what we're saying right now. Just
okay. So
have a cronut and chill out there, right. Jamie.
Plug your ears with the cronut remnants. Do
your exercises for whatever you need to do a little Sean for us. That will just tell you that right now. There it is. All right. So before we bring the gang out, as I like to say, we do have a couple of things we want to do beforehand, right? So we do have 2 more BYOB promo videos, right?
Yeah, we got 2 new ones. One is from the smallest company in contention, which is Elements.cloud, and then we have from one of the largest companies in contention, which is SAP, right? So, and Elements.cloud is Jane Blonde and the Goldfingers. Speaking of Sean Connery, right? And SAP is the Supremes, right? So, Brent,
we got the Elemental Cloud folks up first.
All right. This is Elements.cloud.
Elements.cloud.
In honor of Sean Connery.
All right, here we go. I hope I'm going to do this right. It's always a lot of suspense when I do this. So here we go. All right.
Now, you guys can't comment because you are judges, so no comments.
No comments.
Although one of our player in residence coming back has a very strong musical background, so he's allowed to comment. Yeah, he really can. You know, so we will see that. All right. So next up is what do they call themselves? The Supremes.
The Supremes.
The Supremes.
Supremes.
You know, it's nice that we did Jane and the Goldfingers right ahead of the Supremes, because remember, we had a buddy at SAP who had, I think, probably still the coolest name in the CRM industry. Remember Jim Goldfinger?
Of course. I still talk to him. I mean, the best name ever.
Don't you have to kind of sing that when you say it, though? You know?
You kind of do, actually.
Goldfinger.
Every time he walks into the room, you hear that background. He walks in the room, Shirley Bassey starts going, man.
All right. So here we are with the Supremes. If I can only do this and do this again. And here we go.
Hi, this is Rosa from Madrid, Spain. I'll be singing and having fun.
Hi, I'm Jack. I live in Bath in the UK. I'll be singing a little bit and playing some guitar.
Hi, I'm Kathy Muirgard from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I will be playing the piano and keyboards.
Hey everybody, I'm Oliver. I'm from Waldorf, Germany, and I will be shredding the guitar.
Benno from Karlsruhe, Germany, and I'm singing in the chorus and doing some video production.
Hi, I'm Sabrina from Heidelberg, Germany, and today I'll be singing for you.
Hi, this is Tim. I'm in Marietta, Georgia, USA, and I'll be strumming, singing, and playing a little percussion.
Hi, I'm Johan, and I live in New Hampshire. I mixed our songs and provided some background vocals.
Hey, I'm Megan Green. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I sing background vocals.
And together, we set dreams.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
I didn't know that lavender grew in all those different parts of the world. That's awesome.
Good note. Good catch.
That was a good catch. Yeah, that was definitely
United by lavender. I like it.
all right.
So Tim is the more or less the band leader, Tim Porterfield.
And where
The
does
one
he
thing
live
I will-
again? Where does Tim live again?
That's Marietta, Georgia.
Mayretta. There it is.
That's right. Marietta. Did you catch the one phrase though? That I sing in the chorus. So that's a big band, right? So we'll see what happens with that one too. So right now we have 6 of the 10 promos, and we're 4 short on those 4 companies. I think it's 6 or 7, but remaining companies will be hearing from me today to get their promos in ASAP because we're going to run out of time real soon. All the music's due in December 4th.
It's coming right up, folks. Coming right
We
up.
have Oracle's is actually in hand, but the other one's not yet.
Let me just get some of the so-called funny comments out of the way there from Boston Bob Fagel there. Yeah, I did not say that there, Bob. So
Hey, Bob, save it for tomorrow.
And what's Sven? Usually I look forward to hearing from Sven, but really, Sven, really.
He's going along with Bob now. That's all.
That's the worst thing you could do, Sven. Don't ever go along with Bob Fagel.
Not even in the name of comedy, Brent, but I hear you.
Not even in any comedy name.
Well, in order to go along with somebody in the name of comedy, it has to be funny.
True. Good distinction, Paul. Good distinction.
Right.
All right.
I don't know. I kind of thought it was funny.
This coming from who's your favorite team again? The Jets? Talk to me when you guys win a game, all right? No, I'm just kidding. That was kind of mean. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Okay, this is not
I'll get back to you next season.
Somehow, this is truly Blur's Day since this is actually the subject of tomorrow's show, right? So,
yeah. Sports, yeah, that thing.
Right.
Anyway,
That kind of-
we got I see them both in the green room.
Oh,
Does
it's
Brian
time.
have like a glass of wine? No, it's probably not really.
Anyway, probably champagne. You kid, it's Brian, right? Brian doesn't ever not have a glass.
Okay,
This is third hand.
But before we bring them on, just a quick shout out because we are doing on December the 2nd, our very second watch party, the CRM Playaz watch party. This one's going to be a little different than the first one. The first one we kind of kept under wraps because quite honestly, we didn't even know if it was going to work with Larry Ellison doing the CX keynote for Oracle. And it did. We were pleasantly surprised. Everything kind of held up.
Sure.
So now we're going to take it to the next level. Tell them what we're going to do, PG.
Well, first, we actually changed it to a LinkedIn event. That was the first thing we did this time. And as of now, we started, advertising, so to speak. What was it, last Saturday?
Something like, yeah.
And we have a little over, I think, roughly, let's call it 350 people signed up. And we got still 2 weeks to go for that. So we should have, and interestingly enough, this is actually an interesting thing I picked up today, is we're getting an enormous number of people who are executives from Salesforce signing up.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Do they know what they're signing up for? I mean,
yeah. It was really interesting because when I sent my invites out, I searched for Salesforce people and sent it to all of them. And I just wanted to make them aware. I didn't honestly think they'd sign up. They're signing up. Like a lot of them, a lot of the AR team, a lot of very senior people at Salesforce who you would assume would be more directly involved in the thing signed up, right? So did that, and we have a ton of people from other vendors who are, major vendors who were signed up too. Again, senior management. The second thing is, and we actually, can we announce the other, like what's happening right after, and what can we do that yet?
We don't have confirmation yet,
Okay.
but we are working on something that really should add a new wrinkle to what we did the previous time, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that looks likely because we actually have a name of a person, but we'll see. We'll see how that bears out. And if that comes, and then of course we'll do some post show analysis. So be ready. Be ready. This is going to be really interesting because the size of the crowd is going to be pretty significant for a watch party.
We think. We hope.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. All right. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's bring back the gang. Here he is, our very first one, coming straight out of No, he doesn't really live in Compton. Coming straight out of California somewhere. It's the one and only Brian Solis.
Oh, look, Brian's with the
Wow, look at this. Woo. All
Wait,
black.
Brian, you and I match except for the backgrounds.
Well, I got the memo for this. I sorry.
This is like the New Zealand all blacks.
Seriously. He's one-upping your blue screen, Paul.
Yeah, it's gorgeous though.
Oh, Brian, no.
But he kind of you kind of look like it's just a head though when you stand just like that. There's like a talking head. What is David Byrne going to be here with us too?
Oh man, it's the same as it ever was.
What you need is a little zombie turban, I think, Brian.
That's why you drink champagne live on the show.
Oh, it's coffee right now, but 501 with champagne.
Okay, all right.
You're the only person in California who doesn't drink at 12:30 in the afternoon. Literally the only one.
Yeah, there are a lot of people on the happy hour that do that, but that's another.
All of them.
All right, so now the second player in residence, coming from parts unknown in somewhere in the UK.
No,
somebody
in
knows.
Scotland. In Scotland.
That's unknown to
Be
me.
specific, Brian. Come on.
He's coming from straight out of Glasgow. I don't know, Edinburgh. I don't know. We'll let him tell.
Straight out of his car, actually.
Jamie Anderson. Jamie, all the way from the UK.
How are you putting up a green screen in your car?
It's fab. Do you know how conspicuous this looks on the mean streets of Glasgow? It's super weird. It's super weird. I tell you, Glasgow's a scary place. Glasgow is definitely a scary place. I always say that people. It's so scary that people in Glasgow think that hepatitis B is a vitamin. That's just how.
I don't think the fringe is happening this year, though. Come on, Jamie. Are you warming up here?
I'm not saying it's impoverished or anything like that, but it's a tough old city. So how is everybody? All good.
Yeah. Where in Glasgow? You're in your car, I assume.
I'm behind. Well, I'm behind the Royal Conservatoire. My daughter does drama there, but she's also doing, which I think is amazing, by the way. She's also doing directing and writing. She's 16,
wow.
which is pretty good. She's actually project just now. Our project just now is she's taken one of Grimm's fairy tales, which is the Three Little Men in the Woods, and she's which is which is obviously the background or the backdrop to Snow White, right? The Three Little Men in the Woods. But Grimm's fairy tales being quite macabre in nature. She's taken it, right? And she's rewritten it like a reality TV show. So all the characters, they act their part, and then they talk to the camera like the Kardashians when they're not actually acting. It's really cool. And I love it. It's the creativity. I just love it,
God,
hey Jamie, you win the award for the first person ever to come on the CRM Playaz and mention a Kardashian. So my hats stay on because of that.
So basically, you and Bob Stutz have been the milestone setters this year. Bob for dropping the F-bomb and you for mentioning the Kardashians, which are pretty much equivalent, right? That's pretty much equivalent, right? So
I don't know what's worse. Honestly, I don't know what's worse. But I tell you, are we allowed to comment? Can Brian and I comment on those videos? Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, you guys can comment all you want. We can't.
Hey, I know some of the people, Paul. So obviously I know some. The first one was pretty good. Do you know what I've noticed in all of them, right? In all of the videos so far, people, you see what people do, right? You actually see what they perform and what they do, and you hear the music, you hear the product, and SAP showed up with a PowerPoint. That's what it felt like. and there was I know it's maybe listen, too many jokes. It's like almost there was slightly less people in that video than you get at an SAP demo. But there you go. Anyway.
Wow, this guy is like on this roll.
Not only is he alumnus of the Playaz, you can tell he's an alumnus of SAP too. So
I genuinely
also sounds like he's an alumnus of Second City. Right?
Jamie, you can single-handedly start the Glasgow Fringe Festival. It would be great, you know.
Hey, it would. You'd be taking your life in your hands, but it would be great. Listen, I'm having fun because Tim Porterfield is one of my but I love Tim Porterfield. He's one of the greatest musicians that I know. Him and I have done loads of gigs together, by the way, over the years. So it's it's a little bit of fun. Guys are brilliant. And I love Johan Reed as well. I love kissing his head. Every time I see Johan, I give him a big kiss in the head. He's got a beautiful head.
I totally get it.
Hey, just make sure you're getting your shout out from a fellow Scot there, Jamie. You see that?
Nice. I like that. Hey, Jason.
What's a K-bomb, by the way? I don't know.
Kardashian.
Kardashian. I'm trying to put that out of my head. But okay, we'll get there. All right, cool. No, this is great to have everybody, all of the Playaz-in-Residence, all on one set on one screen. This is awesome. So let me ask the guys that matriculated on. I'll start with Brian since he was the very first, and then Jamie, you follow on this. So, are you having any second thoughts yet? Do you really want to be where you are, or do you really wish you could come back home?
I'm sorry, my earphones aren't working. I can't. Okay, I can't hear you. I think you asked if I'm super happy. Yes. Thanks for asking.
All righty then. All right. Well, Jamie, that's kind of a hard one to follow up. Yeah, why don't you give it a shot?
Look, I'm delighted to be back. It's. I'm happy, guys, that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm absolutely loving it. The people over at Xactly are phenomenal, and I guess I had a few choices. I love them almost as much as I love you guys, but they actually pay me money, so they won.
Well, you can thank us for that.
Paul's angling for a commission already.
Yeah, I was actually really curious about what role did you, being Playaz-in-Residence, actually play for you guys getting these gigs that you got? I mean, one dude is a global innovation analyst or evangelist. Evangelist. The other is a chief sales. Now, there's a little controversy, Jamie, because I saw I think it's on your Twitter profile, it says you are a chief sales officer, but on LinkedIn, I think it said chief revenue officer. So can you end this controversy and tell us what exactly you do for Xactly at this point?
No. It's not. It's actually not. It's not that controversial. No, it's all things sales. So as much as it goes.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
It was in the New York Post on page 6, so it's controversial.
And And Brian, what exactly does a global innovation evangelist do?
Yeah, I'm still working on the job description. It's coming along nicely. I got to tell you, I am having. I love what I'm doing. I get to study how. Well, now with purpose, because I joined as COVID was shutting the country down. How the world is changing, how businesses need to rethink what it means to be in business, how customers are changing, and then also how technology brings us all closer together. And then, of course, the human side of the story, which is how do you actually change? And I get to share that externally and also internally with customers now. So I'm having a blast, man. There's not enough hours in the day.
So in other words, you don't want to come back to us. I take it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I lay awake at night, wondering when that day might come again. I do miss it terribly. But in all honesty, I do miss seeing your faces all the time. And you guys, I miss seeing you also outside of this show, and I miss the hugs, Paul. Especially your hugs.
I will tell you this though, there are enough hours in the day. You said there weren't. There really are enough hours in the day. More than enough hours in the day. I just want you to know that.
What is going on with Bob today? That's all I got.
Do you know?
Bob's on a roll.
I have to say to you, Bob is right.
Well, it was either that or Jamie. You're the one who's looking for someone to mug that's just walking past the car. So
I've graduated from that. But
okay.
I hit the lock door in my car. I'm painting a very bad. By the way, I don't work for the Scottish tourist industry. I never will. Right?
Clearly. So, but at least whoever's going to attack you will be drunk on really good single malts.
Well, very possibly. Oh, do you know, talking of hugs, Brian, you brought up a great one there, Brian. Paul's hugs are legendary. And I said to a beautiful lady that works with me, Mary Jo Rose, I said, I'm talking to Paul.
I know her for years, man.
And she said, I miss his hugs. So how sweet is that? That's really nice.
No, she's great. I remember when she went to work for Xactly too. I mean, I knew her a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I've known her probably another one 15 years or so, almost 15 years. And whoever she works for is lucky. That's all I can say. Whoever she works for is a very lucky company. She's fantastic. And one of the nicer people in the industry too. And this, it's funny. And I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. And there's an enormous number, like everyone here, all six of us, have pretty high profiles in our industry. We do. I mean, whether we want to be humble about it or not, we do. But there's an enormous number of people who are working at these companies that we know and don't have very high profiles at all, but they're amazing people doing amazing things like nonstop, and they're just the nicest people. You just want to hang out with them all the time, basically. That's all. I mean, I don't even care what they do. It's just you want to hang out with these lovely people, but they don't have high profiles, so people don't know them. Years ago, I once did this thing with was it with? I think it was. It was interesting. I gave out this award, and I was recognizing the best executive assistants in the industry. This was a long time ago. I actually was thinking about reviving this, not just to cover a few more categories beyond that, because there's all this. Like the other side, of course, with EAs is they run the company more often than the CEO does, right?
Yep.
If they're the ones that tied to the president or CEO's office. I remember, people at company after company, the person I go to, and again, the CEO and they would be my friends, but the person I go to would always be the EA first, because they knew a lot more than the CEO did in terms of what to do. And they would literally tell the CEO what to do, and the CEO go, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, depending, right? Always. And, and they've operated like chiefs of staff without the salary, basically, right? And there's a lot of people like this. So I gave out awards to people like that, right? Because I just wanted them to get some recognition somehow. And I, honest to God, I was thinking about it now. It's interesting with the pandemic, and also interestingly enough, BYOB kind of is what reminded me. I'll tell you why in a second. But with the pandemic, I realized there's all those people, and now they're still doing their job. They're still doing it at the same level, really, but they're dispersed, so they even have less visibility, right? And so like they don't even see other people in their office to recognize them anymore. So, and I can name a dozen right now, pretty much. No, not a dozen, but I can name a half a dozen off the top of my head. I'm too old to remember a dozen at this point. But what sparked it was the lead vocalist for Pegasystems is executive assistant, right? And and everyone else on the band is either an SVP or a C-level executive, right? Except for her, and she's well, I won't say anything beyond that. But that's what actually started me thinking again. There's those people again, right? Those people out there who just do the work, are fantastic human beings, are commanding people, and yet get no recognition for the actual work that they do. So anyway, given that I'm sort of merging half the watch list into the Playaz anyway, maybe that's something we'll do as Playaz next year. Start recognizing some people like who deserve the recognition and don't get it.
Yeah. I'd like to start with not recognizing Bob Fagel.
That'd be the Antifa recognition.
Wow.
So, right, we'll have the non-recognition. We'll have the cloaked recognition. That's what we'll call it.
There it is.
Meaning you actually can't opaque recognition. Meaning we can't
clandestine recognition. How's that?
Right. That's it. Or
hey,
we can't see them no matter what we do.
Should we kind of take advantage of having all of these players in residence here to like ask something pseudo serious? Kind of. I don't want to get too carried away or anything.
No, me either.
Do anything like that. Now, hey, I just saw this article, and it was listing like the top 10 sites on the web in the world for traffic or for visitors, like monthly visitors. And of course, you had Google was number 1, YouTube was number 2, Facebook was number 3, Wikipedia was number 4.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? When you think about those sites, they're like social sites, they're destination sites, they're sites you go to search for information. You spend tons of time watching videos. Does anybody know what the number 5 site was?
It's either a porn site or a gambling site.
Very close. Jamie's right. Amazon is now the number 5 site for monthly visitors with 5.2 billion visitors.
Wow.
See, that was too predictable. I was going to say Amazon, but I was like, well, it can't be Amazon because that's so obvious. It must be something else that's like fun and,
I was going to go for the Johns Hopkins COVID tracker website.
Wow. There's a stretch.
I was looking at other lists just to see what might. I didn't know you were going to throw it to us, but one of the on several lists, Yahoo
look
is
at what's
still in the top 10.
That's great.
I should probably update that site. But I thought it was interesting that Yahoo still is a top contender.
Really?
That's true.
Finance. Yahoo Finance. Yeah, still crushing it.
But I thought, Amazon wasn't nearly a top 10 site before COVID made everybody have to buy stuff online, right? I mean, isn't this the impetus behind Amazon getting to that level was what's going on with the pandemic? I find that was really, we heard a lot of things about how e-commerce is, increased significantly. But when you look at, I think it's Google has 105 billion visitors a month. Which is, how do you do that when there's only like 7 billion people in the? Anyway, that's the question. But I'm just fascinated. Like all the other sites are, kind of destination sites for staying connected with people, watching videos, finding information. And then this one site where you only go there if you're going to buy something is all of a sudden is a top 5 destination on the web, period.
Well, if I could add
how many
to that,
how many did you say? How many people visit Google?
105 billion. They say visitors a month, but that's repeat visitors.
Those are unique individuals. Is that what you're saying?
There's not 105 billion unique individuals.
Yeah.
Not that I know.
Yeah, I just wanted to check, Brett. I just wanted to check that you didn't say 105 billion voters, because that would that just blew up. Boom.
Well, there's something going on here with checking votes here, Jamie. I don't know if you're.
I do.
Yeah, into that, but
I'm sure.
Well, but Jamie, now being in charge of all things sales, you must surely be having those conversations. Speaking of, that there aren't 105 billion unique visitors out there in the world. Hey, like in order to match our close rate with our target volume, we've got to go for more companies than exist in the known universe.
That's right, exactly. Well, look, I was going to say we're a big user of Salesforce, so we've got everything we need in there.
Oh, wow. Look at that!
Look at that! Look at that!
Oh,
it's like Playaz-in-Residence Homecoming.
I just got a headache.
Cut here.
I just literally got a headache.
I'm never going to pass up that chance to like turn and blow Brian Solis a kiss. Thank you, Brian.
Ooh, there we go. I like that one.
That actually worked out perfectly the way you guys.
Yeah, I know.
That's why BrianSolis.com is the number 5 site on the web here.
Yeah, one of the most popular articles is where I teach you how to do that.
Someone at Amazon was listening.
Hey, but Brett, to your point though, one of the things that I had learned a few years ago in research was that Google was worried about how quickly Amazon wasn't just becoming an e-commerce destination, but a search engine. So that a lot of individuals will go there to search first when they begin their journey, whether or not they buy it from Amazon. And look, any site that has introduced the world to cardboard guilt is probably up there in the top 10 for sure.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you got a point on that one. Although I have plenty of cardboard, and I'm not feeling that guilty just right at the moment. But
I saw a list. I think it was right after you told me about that one, Brent. I was just looking around, and one list which surprised me coming into 2020, and it was surprised me because of the one I'm about to say. Number 6 on it was Yelp, right? Which now, of course, was probably sunk really well. Yeah, but this list was a little weird because I couldn't find Google on it anywhere. Right, so there was something obviously wrong with.
Is that like
a little wrong with that list?
Is that a Bing list from Bing search or something?
I was going to say, no. Did Yelp compile the list much the same way?
I don't know.
Views of small businesses.
Well, no, it was accurate because number 5 was BrianSolis.com. So. So I know that. So, but Yelp was number 6, and it really struck me. It was really peculiar. But of course, I'm sure Yelp's fortunes have sunk dramatically since then. Right, so I can imagine it's fallen off the top, million, at this point. But what was the name of that? Oh God, I can't say it out loud here. I just remember the name of that. Remember, it's a website ranking thing that sounds very similar to what Amazon has when you ask it to command.
Right. Well, it's an Amazon property, right? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, they bought that They bought that well before that device came out.
Oh, so that may be where they got the name.
The A website rankings.
Right.
Yeah,
that one.
They bought that years ago. Right.
Has that died? I haven't seen them since. I mean, for many years. Is that gone now, or they still do it?
No, they're still used, and it's actually a growing service. That's how I found out that BrianSolis.com was actually the number 5 site on the world. When I'm going there and checking out the trend. Yeah,
that's a great. I love the way we've interwoven this theme all together. It's really good. BrianSolis.com, number 5. Love it.
Now, hey, but Jamie, we got to go to you though, because you're the man of a million voices, but one in particular is the one that really really hit home with me and Paul when we were at the, I think it was at Adobe Summit a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had a chance to sit down with you, and you wowed us with a number of your impressions, but the one that was for me the best was your Sean Connery impression. Having him gone, you know, I feel like we have to hear from Sean right now.
Well, look, and by the way, guys, I need to go, not least because of fear for my safety, but also I need to pick up my daughter. But thank you. But come to Scotland, it's great. In all honesty, look, I love Sean. I love Sean Connery. I think everybody in Scotland does. I mean, think about this for a second, right? Think about this. This was a guy who played James Bond. Number one, a Scottish guy who played James Bond, the quintessential British spy. Then he played a Russian U-boat captain, right? A Russian U-boat captain in The Hunt for Red October, right?
That's right.
He was in the movie Highlander, right? Remember Highlander with Christophe Lambert in the 80s?
Yeah.
He was in the Highlander, but he played a Spanish immortal. And then he went, and then he got his Oscar, right?
Chicago.
For The Untouchables, where he played an Irishman, right? The thing I love about Sean Connery was he was able to play all of those roles with exactly the same accent. So there you go. So I'll see you later, guys. I love you.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, man. That was great. And
right,
stay,
bye, my friend.
stay
Bye-bye.
safe on those
Bye-bye.
mean streets too, man. We don't want you to, you know, get got.
I will.
Don't
Take
lose your
care.
Scotch.
Wow, that was fun.
That was.
That was
So,
spot on, that impression.
No. Listen, Brent, you know what we ought to do after the show, and we should get the link to that show and put it up again for Jamie's imitations. He also did his. I actually think his greatest impression is Michael Caine, which is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, listen, Jamie. This is one night. Jamie was restless, I guess, and it was like 3:30 in the morning in Scotland, and he couldn't sleep. So all of a sudden, I see on Facebook, because you know we tied together on Facebook. I see him, and it's basically Jamie doing a Michael Caine impression, right at 3:30 in the morning in Scotland, right, and it's hysterical. I mean, it's I don't know how much people know about Jamie, but aside from the fact he was a literal rock star in the I think it was the early 90s in Scotland.
I just read something in the private chat.
I know it.
Not happening. Not happening.
I didn't think so. And by the way, everybody out there, we're keeping this a secret.
I mean,
that's
it
a
would-
secret.
Yeah, that one's
Marceau.
Hey, Paul, Brett, we got to get Jamie to record in all of his classic voices bumpers for CRM Playaz.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're
There she
right.
is. Oh, there she is. That's MJ. She's awesome.
Oh,
Here,
that's
MJ,
cool.
Virtual. But here
That's
it is
nice.
for you. Oh, she's amazing. It's amazing.
That's very nice. That's cool stuff.
You listen. We'll put up the episode because he did quite a few of them. He also did Richard Burton.
That was
in
good
that
too.
episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the guy from Star Wars.
Oh,
Sir
Alec Guinness.
Sir Alec Guinness. That's right. Sir
Alec Guinness. She did
That's
Alec
right.
Guinness, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, and Richard Burton. All of them. And you want to hear Michael Caine is like you would not know you would not if you shut your eyes, you literally will think it's Michael Caine.
But you know what?
That's
He told me before we even got on here. He told me he's working on a brand new one. He's going to be doing
Kim
what's his name?
Kardashian.
Samuel L. Jackson doing Sir John Gielgud, and so I can't wait for him to do that. That'll be great.
in a Capital One commercial.
Right. I didn't know Sir John Gielgud used MF as much, but you know, it could be really interesting to check it out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Actually,
no, that was really great. And Brian, we also know you got to give a shout out to you're doing your own new show, so to speak. that you've been doing for several weeks now. Tell everybody about that.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I missed being with you guys, so then I thought, well, since I can't come back, I'll have to launch my own show because nobody else will have me. And I partnered with a longtime friend, John Kao, and we decided to go into the live stream route too. Boy, let me say, Brent, I can admire your production skills now all the more because it is. It is interesting work. I think at this time where we've all had to learn how to do live video and lighting and audio and all kinds of crazy stuff. So intersections, we look at the intersection between art and technology, humanity, innovation, and education. We bring all kinds of really cool folks every week that I don't know that there's been a week I haven't gotten the chills. It's just a really, really inspiring and optimistic way to look at where we are and where we can go in new directions together. So that's the premise of the show. Thursdays at 10:30 Pacific.
I'm so glad that you weren't a little later in the day on Thursday. We really appreciate that.
That's right.
I had to figure out when not to step on your toes or Ray and Vala's toes.
I know, working around.
It is
No, I'll tell you what.
But in a good way. There's a lot of good stuff out there these days.
Yeah, there is actually. It's also creating a conundrum for a lot of people though, because a lot of people really want to do something like this, whatever it is, in their own mode, and they don't know how to go about it even. It's because it's, look, I mean, Brent's been doing the production stuff. We've done the show 12 years, but Brent's been doing production effectively either, at the initial level, which was basically, whatever we could, it was audio basically and recording, to now for 12 years. I mean, there's a lot of experience there in doing it, but most people have never done any of this. I mean, at all. And now they have to. Like yesterday, there's a guy who was on the happy hour yesterday who I know, and he reached out a few days ago in the back channel and just said, I'm setting up a studio in my house. What do I need? And so I asked him a series of questions. He's not going to live stream. He wants to do pre-recording, voiceover, some voiceover stuff, and audio, and so on and so forth. And then he has a budget, so we're starting to work through what it's going to take. And he's coming to the realization that what goes into this is enormous. Like, I'm actually overwhelmed nonstop about what I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to, okay, do I want to use OBS Studio or vMix? Do I want to use this? Do I want to use that? How am I going to do the lighting? How do I handle the audio? I have audio flows that are confusing. How do I fix that? What does it mean for the power of the PC I have to use? What kind of macros do I need to work with? How do I do video switching? Blah, 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 blah. I keep going. What cameras? Luckily, I've had Brent to help me. Yeah, that's another one we're now both going to deal with. It's called the ATEM Stream Bridge. And it basically, we could technically, without any of the stuff we have other than the video switcher we're using, we could broadcast to the internet without StreamYard, without Restream.io, without anything. We could just broadcast. But the downside is you can broadcast to a limited number of channels with it, right? But the other thing, that little device, the other thing is you can, if you're in a giant multi-room environment, you can put one in every room and you can broadcast to every room with it, and you don't need more than the device in any room, right? So, yeah, it's a cool little device, but basically, I guess it's kind of becoming typical with me and Brent is we buy it and then say, it's like what I always recommend you don't do when you buy software, which is, okay, we'll buy it. So now what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right.
But Paul, you have the added justification. Aren't you and Brent doing a new video series that's all about how to build your home studio? So there you go.
Well, we thought we were anyway. Right. We're gonna be talking. Yeah. That will be part of something. We're gonna announce some changes shortly to Friday.
Yeah,
Friday
and
show.
our first change is, we're going to discontinue the player in residence program. So Ginger and El Nicole.
See ya.
That would literally never happen.
Just
would
kidding.
never happen.
You will leave us well before we want you to leave. So,
yeah, that is absolutely what will happen for sure. Right. So, but that we will be announcing some changes, which in part, those subjects will get covered probably. Right. We'll see. I mean, that's soon though. You'll hear about that soon. So anyway, Brian, I've watched a couple of your shows actually, and you have a
like
very
that
easy.
board.
What's his name?
Kale, John Kale.
Kale. Where's he come from? What's his story?
So he is sort of a consummate innovator. He's been a professor. He chairs a large scale forum on innovation. He's an author. He's a Tony nominated producer. This guy's just incredible. He's just one of those guys that, whether it's with the World Economic Forum or whatever company he's advising on their innovation strategy, is just someone who knows everyone that you've ever read about. And we've been fortunate to have a lot of that community to be guests. We've also now started to experiment with live art. So we brought, for example, a good friend who played us live improvisational jazz guitar, Jefferson Graham of USA Today, who's also their technology columnist. John also has he just moved, but he's now set up his grand piano, and he's going to start playing some live piano. We're going to bring some comedians and magicians. I don't know, just because I think the thing that we're all hearing now, everything from the World Economic Forum's list for jobs in 2025 to Salesforce's own research on the future of work, the thing that's consistently coming up is the need for soft skills and creativity, and that's what we're trying to celebrate. Is critical thinking, art, the idea of what is innovation at a human level. And how it's approachable by everybody. Sir Ken Robinson's name has probably come up in almost every episode of reintroducing less linear and hierarchical thinking and more creative thinking in education, all the way up through work. And so it's been. I love being part of the show, but it's also the show I needed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So in other words, that sounds good. In other words, he didn't like being on our show. He wanted to
no way, man.
Thanks for letting us down easy, man.
I know. I picked that up too, but I was trying to be gracious.
Oh no, nothing.
It's all right.
You trained him as a sous chef, and now he started in his own kitchen. That's all.
When you can't go to school or spend as much time reading or learning as you want, you bring the school to you.
Yeah, no, look, you know what? So, we've been having conversations in varying ways around changing the standard for what we've all called interactivity, because really we're just doing, with all the conversations around new normal and all of that, we're doing the same thing we've always done when it comes to interactivity for the most part, right? There's this show, there's a bunch of people commenting over here, where we take it a little bit further is we bring the comments up and then we talk to the people making the comments. But really we're talking about where we have to take it from, and I'm in the middle of a gigantic blog post on this one, but is taking it from interactivity to participation. And, the irony, and goes to kind of your point, Brian, is, and this didn't occur to me till after the fact, but what's always been called, live theater, right, has done that for 50 years, right? Which is basically the audience becomes part of the play. And that's effectively what we're talking about, the audience becoming part of the play. The way it reflected itself, the thing that we have been, a lot of people have been talking to us about the new formats that we're doing, and with BYOB and the executive roundtable and the watch parties and all those things, and the awards and so on. But actually, where we did it the most is, we did it with Alan Berkson, and really what it was this, he's commenting on a Friday when we're just kind of riffing on sports or something. Alan's commenting, and rather than just respond to his comments, we literally pull him into the show. It's Courtney Cox being pulled on stage by Bruce Springsteen. Dancing. Actually, the title of the title of the blog post is "Dancing in the Dark," right? So, and so,
and Alan so loves being compared to Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Courtney
Well, that
Cox
makes Paul
wins
Bruce
that one.
Springsteen. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's just the players of Bruce Springsteen, right? So, right. So but that's the thing. I mean, Xactly, we're bringing the audience to participate directly with us. So, that's kind of, and that's just us. But for example, if you remember when Jonathan Becker was on the show, what he was doing with the fans was making the fans became players on the team, right? I mean, that's what we're saying. This is participation, right? And it's a different level of interactivity. It's the standard. It's not a standard yet, but that's kind of why I'm making I'm going for the fight to make it a standard, right? I want to change the thinking. So I'm going all in on it. And so the thing is that effectively, I'm going back to my next stake. And I doubt it'll do what that one did, but I'm trying. Anyway, so but that level of participation to me is seriously important because it goes to interactivity, it goes to engagement, it goes to humanization, it goes to all of it, right? And it also goes to as close as you're going to get to active engagement with another person IRL, so to speak, right? I mean, as close as you're going to get. You're not going to get there because it's still digital.
It's so interesting, Paul, because I was talking about this just the other day with a couple of folks too, and it is such an important move, and yet at the same time, I think you guys have been really pioneering in this, and I think there are several of us that are trying to extend that in a few different venues as well. But what's hard is that I think there's a core group of people, many of whom have gotten some airtime today, who are great and feel really comfortable in doing that. And what I keep trying to figure out is how to get more people into that circle, because I still think part of the challenge is that a lot of people are very happy being voyeurs and are not quite happy actually engaging.
Oh, you're right.
And I think it's too bad because, personally, I think you miss out when you aren't actively participating in some way. But I'm sure that to some degree, it's a question of people feeling comfortable doing it and feeling like they are in a safe place or in a group that is going to be accepting of them participating. So I guess, part of the question is, and Brian, you are a master at doing this as well. How do you make people feel comfortable? How do you make them feel like they are part of the discussion and inspire them to actively participate? Is it an Alan Berkson bot? I'm not so sure, but more of Alan is always good.
Wow. Well, I'm going to unfortunately have to use these as my parting words. Thank you, Nicole, for saying that. And it makes me think back to when we announced the program, the Play-in-Residence program was, I think at Salesforce Dreamforce last year.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the rooftop and watching Brent pull out all of this gear from his bag. And
the Mevo.
From the TARDIS, it's like...
It took us about an hour to do a few minute video announcing the program. And I remember I thought about that recently as I was doing the learning about intersections and the production and all of this stuff. And I realized, that was a different world last year. And I don't think any of us saw it. But what I do realize, and to your point, Nicole, is I realize just how much I miss you all, and how the hardest part of all of this isn't, it isn't learning all this new stuff, because I'm actually kind of having fun with it. It's just, the cost of it is the humanity of it all, and exploring ways to sort of break through this and be together in ways that we can. But I appreciate the resilience in all of us being together. Ginger, I haven't seen you live and I think since Vegas, and it's been a while. And Nicole, at least I got to see you in Austin right before all of this stuff went down. But I just want to say thank you for the opportunity of being part of the Playaz-in-Residence program and just being your friend. And I think, Nicole, you answered. I think that's just what it's all about. It's just kind of caring.
And But
Trying to get
and
us
the reality-
emotional on your way out? Is that what's going on here?
Right. We'll turn them into a best practice.
or next practice.
That's right. The next practice.
Well,
All right,
we know you
everybody.
gotta
All right.
fall off. So
Happy
we appreciate you
Thanksgiving.
making time, man. Yeah, same to you.
Big hug,
Take
man.
care, man.
Oh, big hugs.
Yeah, big hug.
Bye, everybody.
I'll give you the bro hug. Here it is. All right. Wow, that was good. That was fun.
Yeah, just one last thing to your point, Nicole. A lot of it is, look, when live theater was around, I never went because I was terrified of being part of the audience, a part of the play. I didn't want to be part of the play. I wanted to watch it, right? To your point, right? I just, the idea of I remember thinking, well, what would I do? Right? It's like, I was a kid, right? And I didn't really understand how that worked too much. And so, but then on the other hand, there is sort of there's one simple level that you can work at to begin with, which is just, and something we all kind of do anyway, which is just use opt-in. Like when Alan came on the show, we didn't say, "Hi, Alan, here's the link, and we're logging you in directly. You have no choice. We remotely take over your PC now, and we're going to bring you in." Say, "Hey, we'd like to be on the show. If you do, we'll give you the link, and you come on in." Right? We were communicating with one, on a side comment, and so he did, and we did, and that's what I'm saying. So the opt-in side works. You just make sure that if people want to, the opportunity is there for them to participate. So, and if they don't, they don't. That's fine. It's just comfort zones do matter, regardless of what people think. It's not always great to work out of your comfort zone. That's a ridiculous comment. Sometimes you need to be.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Right. You need to
But
be.
the same applies in the analog world. I mean, think about any focus group or roundtable. Like inevitably there's people who are much more outgoing and talkative, and people who only participate if you ask them a direct question.
Right? Yeah. And you allow for it. That's all. You don't try to drag some. People are okay in private. If you want to get somebody to say something, you work with them a little bit. But in public, they just feel embarrassed, and there's no point in embarrassing someone in public. Unless
you're a comedian and you're on stage and part of your shtick is calling out the crowd.
Right. Well,
I never liked that part.
But anybody who's in that audience knows that comedian does.
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah. Especially if you're sitting up front and wearing like a loud colored shirt or something.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna get dogged out.
Signing waivers at the door.
Yeah.
There's this restaurant
you guys and Bob torturing each other.
Oh no, that's so funny.
That's
it's part of the social contract, Ginger.
Yeah, that's hysterical. It's mostly Brett and Bob. I just laugh.
Hey, can we do to take us out? Can we do a segment we haven't done in a while? The pin segment, because I got a really good one.
Wow,
and I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this. All right, so let me bring up. And by the way, people, PIN stands for protect the identity, but not the
stupidity. Not the stupidity.
It's been so long, I forgot what it actually stood for. It's kind of hard to protect the identity of this one. So it's not the individual. There's no individual, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So here is an email I got the other week. I'll just read part of this. First of all, the Gator Nation needs your help to stay connected. Mr. Leary, your University of Florida Alumni Association recently launched a comprehensive alumni data verification project. Our first in 5 years. We need your help to confirm the accuracy of your data and to fill in any information page in your university record. I could read the whole thing, but the last part I really just like. There's a part that says, I don't know if you can see it. Go Gators. After saying all that, go Gators. That's how they ended. All right.
Okay.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the University of Florida. No. I've never even been to a University of Florida campus for anything in my life at all. So I'm glad I'm able to help them with their data and tell them I never went to the University of Florida.
What you should do, Brent, is give them a call and say, I will happily confirm this if you can send me a copy of my diploma first.
What would be funny? They might come back with one. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
So in order That's pretty bad. And I didn't have to call out any individual. It was the whole University of Florida. So here's how I want to end this. And this is the official face of the pin segment. Watch this little clip. That's the face I felt like giving them when I actually got this email and read it. That's Miles Davis giving that face to Herbie Hancock in the middle of a performance. Herbie Hancock is a legend in his own right, but he got that face from Miles Davis. That's the face that the University of Florida needs to get from me for that.
All right.
Give him the face. Yeah.
That is the official face of the pin segment moving forward.
That's right.
There it is.
All right. Probably get flagged for that one by YouTube.
Who cares? It was only on for a split second. Have at it, YouTube. I'll give you the face too, YouTube, if you do that to me. Anyway, it was a fun was I right about this being a good episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was seriously funny.
Brand new hat.
No, I gotta say it's a nice little entree, like a nice slide into the completely unusual holiday season. We had a little fun, wasn't too serious. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's right. Because actually, we may have something that is big for next week because it is Thanksgiving, and we have been doing this show live. Every Thursday for 8 months or so, 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
So we have a dilemma. It's next Thursday is Thanksgiving. What are we gonna do? I mean,
do we all bring a plate?
I was gonna say what we do is animate the turkey and just have that kind of,
We should ask people whoever's out, hook them. Dan, I know you didn't go to University of Texas. Maybe you did.
No.
Should we actually do a live episode on Thanksgiving? I mean, we're all going to be sheltering in place, but I
was like, no.
Kind of feels awkward. But then again, we got a streak. How do we solve this problem?
We can. Well, we could. I mean, I actually, interestingly, me and Yvonne are actually going to my nephew's, who lives literally a half a mile from here, for Thanksgiving. We've been there. They are the only people we've seen since March, right? Basically live was my nephew and niece, and once in a while somebody pops over here, but that's it. And so we are going to go, and but they're a half a mile away, and Thanksgiving dinners are usually 4 o'clock or so. I'll tell them make it 4:15, and I'll come over here. We can do a show. Go back. Doesn't bother me.
I was gonna say you could do a whole sub segment though of you like transporting half of your studio to your nephew's house, so you could do it live.
That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. We used to. So to your interesting point, so not years ago, till last year when our friends moved, we have these friends of 40 years. Actually, their daughter works for Salesforce. It runs the health vertical, right? And what we're going to do, what we used to do is we would celebrate Thanksgiving after, because the whole family was in town, and we've known them since they were babies, right? So after their regular Thanksgiving, on the Saturday following, we'd go to their house for another Thanksgiving. And to your point of transporting, I literally transported like 30 bottles from my bar and mixed drinks at their house.
That's when you need the teardrop trailer and you just pull it up and like your bar is right there.
Kind of like that, right? I would gigantic box. I'd set up the bar. I'd say, what kind of drinks you interested in? I'd have I did a survey beforehand of all of them to find out where they were going on their drink profiles. And then I brought over all the alcohol and spent the evening making drinks. It was fun.
I can see a post-COVID get-together coming out.
Well, they moved to Chicago. We
can take that principle, Paul, and we can apply it.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I will tell you this. When things are actually clear, there will be a very big party at this house. So be prepared.
Snaps.
Be prepared.
And on that note, be prepared, folks. Be prepared. And we are going to prepare to leave this show for this CRM Playaz Thursday weekly. So we don't know. Maybe you'll see us live. Maybe you don't. We'll figure it out next week. What a tease. That was a pretty good tease.
Ask us Friday.
Yeah, ask us. Speaking of Friday, do you want to tell them what we got for tomorrow?
Yeah, actually, we're actually gonna. As a lot of you know, we've Brent and I have helped out, and also have been very interested in the progress of the Professional Collegiate League, which is being run by Ricky Volante, who's a sports attorney, and David West, a former NBA player who is the COO for the organization. So we're bringing them on tomorrow for an update and just see how they're faring in the world of COVID. And I will tell you this, they've got some actual merch now, and we're going to hopefully show you some of the first merch for one of the first teams of their league. And it's
plus,
I've seen it, it's slick.
Plus, I am very interested in getting David's take on what happened last night with the NBA draft, and particularly one of his old teams, the Warriors. And the bad news that it looks like, we have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, he's done.
It's sad news. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about the Warriors a little bit with David West too tomorrow.
We can
so
do that too.
So with that in mind, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
I'm Elle Nicole France.
And I'm Ginger Conlon.
We are the CRM Players, and we are out after we do this 10-second pause. All right, on the count of 3, pause. 1, 2, 3. I never last. I never make it last.